Hello, this is Vladimir from We Design Motion. In this video, we'll create a film texture transition in After Effects. We'll build a reusable template that you can tweak for variations. Let's get started. Let's create a new composition. Call it Transition. Make it 10 frames long. I set the frame rate to 2997, but you can use whatever works better for your project. Now put a marker on frame 5 and rename it to Cut. This will be the moment where the transition peaks. Let's add 2 pieces of footage, just for preview. Place one before the cut and one after, so we can clearly see the transition. Next, let's add a null object. Rename it to Control, make it orange, turn it off, and lock it on the side. Add a slider control. Rename it to Random Seed. This will control the random pattern, so we can generate different variations quickly. I have a film texture sequence here. You can download it from the link in the description. Add it to the timeline. Right-click it, go to Time, and choose Enable Time Remapping. Alt-click on the Time Remap stopwatch, and let's add the expression. We'll do it line by line, and I'll explain what each part does. First, let's define the frame duration. FD equals this comp frame duration. This gives us the duration of one frame in seconds. Next, let's read the seed value from the control layer. Type seed equals, and then link to the random seed slider. Now we need a step value that changes every 2 frames. Type step equals math.floor, open parentheses, then time, divided by FD multiplied by 2. This converts the current time into 2-frame blocks by dividing it by the duration of 2 frames. Math.floor removes the decimal part and keeps the number stable. Anything driven by this value will hold the same state for 2 frames, and then update abruptly on the 3rd frame. Now we need to know how many frames exist in the footage. Type frames equals math.max. Open the parentheses, and type 2, math.floor, open parentheses again, this layer, source, duration, 2 vertical lines, then out point minus in point, divided by FD. Let's break it down. Layer source duration is the total length of the sequence. We use it to keep the expression flexible, so it automatically adapts to any texture sequence without manual changes. If it is not defined, we use an OR operator, 2 vertical lines, and an out point minus in point divided by frame duration, which is basically the layer's length. Math.max clamps the result so it's never less than 2, because we pick a random frame for at least 2 options. Now let's generate the current random frame. First, we seed the random generator. Type seed random, open parentheses, type seed, plus step, plus index, true. This means the random result depends on the seed slider, the current step value, and the layer index. So each step gives us a new random value, and duplicated layers will naturally be different. Now we pick a random frame index. F equals math.floor, open parentheses, random parentheses frames. So F becomes a whole number between 0 and the total number of frames. Now we do the same for the previous step. Seed random, open parentheses, seed plus step, -1 plus index, true. This generates the previous random state. And we pick the previous frame. P equals math.floor, parentheses, random parentheses, frames. Now we have F, the current frame, and P, the previous frame. Finally, we output the time value for time remap. Open parentheses, type F, double equals P F plus 1, F, close the parentheses. Then frames multiply FD. Instead of writing a full if-else block, this line uses a short inline version of it. If the current frame equals the previous one, we push it by 1 frame, so it doesn't repeat. Then we wrap it using modulo. so we never go out of range, and we multiply by FD to convert frame number into seconds. So the result is a random frame, held for 2 frames, and never repeating twice in a row. Now let's test it. If we scroll through the timeline, each texture holds for 2 frames. And we can go to the control layer and change the seed value to adjust the frame order. With this setup, you can quickly generate a lot of different variations without changing anything else. Duplicate the texture layer. Let's check the time remap expression. Now both layers choose different random frames automatically because we included index in the expression. Let's set the top texture layer blend mode to add. Now I'll animate the opacity. For the bottom layer, set it to 0 at frame 2. Then to 100 at the cut. Then back to 0 at frame 8. For the top layer, set it to 0 at frame 0. To 100 at frame 2. Copy the 100 keyframe at frame 8. And to 0 at frame 10. I'll quickly check how it looks. Great! The cool thing is that we can just duplicate the transition comp, adjust the random seed value, and get unique transitions every time. Let's delete the preview footage. Now create a new comp and make it longer. Add the footage, and put the transition on top. Since there's a marker inside the composition, you can quickly align the transition with the cut. Turn on collapse transformations for the transition, so that the add texture works correctly. Let's get a quick look. Looks good. Now we can duplicate the transition comp as many times as we want, change the random seed, and get a unique transition every time. It's a simple way to keep things consistent while still avoiding repetition. By the way, if you're interested in more transitions, the Ultimate Motion freebie is a good place to start. It's a free pack of customizable motion elements that you can drop straight into your projects. Check the link in the description. Hit the like button and subscribe for more videos. Thanks for watching, and happy creating!